How to match different shaped containers to graphs in 151 seconds. Let's go. Questions like this, guys, are going to be super common in our foundation papers. Let's have a look at this one. The question says that the following containers are filled with water at a constant rate. It then asks us to match each container with the graph, which shows how the depth of water changes over time. We can see that we have 4 pictures here. Hopefully you like my drawing, and we have 4 graphs to match them to. Let's have a look. First of all, graph number 1. Which one are we going to match this to? We can see that for this graph, initially, the depth of water is increasing slowly, and then suddenly the depth of water starts increasing much faster. This one, guys, do you know which one it's going to go with? It's going to go with this picture here. Why is that? That's because initially we have a very wide base, which means that the depth of water in the container is going to fill slowly, but then suddenly it gets a lot narrower, and that means that the depth of water is going to start increasing faster. So when the water gets to this point, it's going to be associated with this point down here on the graph. Now, what about this graph here? We can see again initially that we're increasing in depth slowly, and this increases gradually over time, so that the depth of water is increasing at a faster rate over time in a smooth way. Which ones are going to go with, guys? It's going to go with this graph over here. Why? Because we start off with a very wide base, which means we're going to be filling slowly, and then over time we get gradually thinner and thinner, which means that gradually over time the rate of increase of the depth is going to increase. Now, what about this graph here? We can see that in this graph, the depth is increasing at a constant speed over time. Which one's that going to go with, guys? It's going to go with our picture on the left over here. Why? Because for this container over here, the width is the same all the way up. So what's going to happen if the width is the same? The depth is going to increase at the same rate for the entire duration of the container filling with water. Finally, guys, process of elimination. You could have probably told already, I don't want to rub it out, do I? You probably could have told already that this graph over here goes with this picture here. How do we know? We know that because initially the depth of water is increasing very quickly, but gradually over time, the rate of increase of the depth decreases and the gradient of that line gets smaller. That's going to go with this picture here, guys. Why? Because initially we have a very thin container, which is going to be increasing in depth very quickly. It's going to be filling up quickly, and over time as it gets thicker, the rate of change of the depth is going to decrease. That's why it's going to go with this graph over here. That, guys, is how we're going to match different pictures with different graphs. That one was a lot to get through. Hopefully everything made sense.